What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Fight Like Hell podcast, episode 81. We are coming to you on a Wednesday, January 18th, in the year 2023, in case you're listening to us in maybe 2024, which is a year from now. Maybe you're going back through the catalog and you're just like, oh, let's look at this guy's. It's a guy who's got like one leg missing. We should learn about him. And then we're like, okay. So we got Austin to my left, and
That was the
Austin.
longest intro ever.
I started stumbling on words. Austin to my left, George. Actually, I'll let you do the honors. Introduce our guest,
Who? Who
please.
do we have?
I
Some
don't even
weird
know his
guy with
name.
one missing leg.
Yeah.
Why you gotta make fun
Super,
of? Why you gotta make fun of? Disabled people, Rob.
When you're
super
disabled,
awkward, bud.
you can make fun of disabled people. Isn't that a thing?
Okay. Yeah. So we got Jordan, Mr. One-Legged Wonder himself. How's it going, Jordan?
Great.
Good.
Jordan, why don't you tell us and our listeners who may or may not know you, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people know who you are, a little bit about yourself.
So my name's Jordan Leitch. I served in the Marine Corps from 2007 to 2014. Yeah, I was in the infantry for 4 years, and then I became a combat instructor after. And I mean, the cool thing about my first 4 years in the infantry was that I was the postal clerk on my Afghan deployment.
So you saw
And
all the nudes and porn coming in.
you would think so, but they all have those stupid black wrappers on them, and there's no way of seeing like what good stuff's inside. I mean, it could be anything from like, college chicks to, I'll be honest, it's the Marine Corps. You don't know what kind of messed up stuff you're seeing inside
There
of
could
a
be
porn magazine
naked
with them.
guys in
Yeah,
there. Who the fuck knows?
yeah. I mean, it's like a Crayola, advertisement that they
There
ordered.
could be goats in there. I mean, who knows nowadays?
But no, it was the coolest experience I had in the military. It gave me the ability to do a lot of things that, I mean, everybody else really didn't have a chance to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the main source of morale for Afghanistan. I mean, it's just like, how many guys can say that in their unit? So, but yeah, I got out of the military, bounced around, did firefighting for a couple years, bouncers at a bar, sold cars, treated lawns. That was a highlight of my life there for like 6 months. I spread fertilizer on people's lawns. And then I worked at a gun range for a couple of years, doing that largest indoor gun range in the state of Wisconsin. But I spent 4.5 years retired, and that kind of led me into where I'm at now. So it's yeah, we'll get into that here in a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna get way more details into your backstory and where you are today, and I definitely want to go over like our timeline of knowing you and some of the ups and downs that we've got to witness with you and your growth that makes you 100% a Fight Like Hell person, and we're honored to have you as a guest. But before we get into your backstory, we got to hit our two official sponsors of the podcast. Official sponsor one is Avicta Coffee Co. They're out of sunny Arizona, ran by our buddy Spencer down there. It is a really good coffee company that does things for veteran communities. They give back a portion of their proceeds to mental health awareness, PTSD, and suicide awareness. If you would like to head on over to their website and save a little bit on some of their amazing coffee, please use the promo code Fight Like Hell, all one word, Fight Like Hell, and you'll get 10% off your coffee. Our next official sponsor of the podcast is PatriotCookies.co. I forgot what I was going to say for a second. They're out of sunny Florida, and they're ran by the local cookie dealer of Florida, and that's Johnny B. Tackfit. He's currently out at SHOT Show in Vegas, and he's always whipping up cool and kick-ass cookies over there. If you'd like to save 15% and wash some cookies down with some Snapple, like Jordan's drinking over there, head on over
Snapple apple.
Snapple Apple. Head on over to patriotcookies.co and use the code Fight Like Hell, all one word, Fight Like Hell, all one word, and you will save 15%. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
and the last promotion that I was actually supposed to do
right here.
first. I just saw that you highlighted that. So at the end of each show, we ask you guys to make sure that you're subscribed, make sure that you follow, make sure that you share this episode. We've had a lot of growth in the last year and a half, and we thank everyone that listens to this and shares it with people. But not everyone finishes the episode. So I told Austin we need to have it at the beginning of our episode. So we're asking you, if you're tuning into this episode, please subscribe, follow, share the episode. Help us grow a little bit more, because I think we're at how many countries?
Tell Rob to eat a bag of dicks. I mean, do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. How many countries though were we at the end of the year?
A lot. I don't know, like
It's
24 or something.
Yeah, it was like 24 or 26. But
I should really follow you guys.
you probably should, or at least subscribe to our channel and share it.
I'm 100% sure I am.
Okay. All right. Well, just give us a rating too. We need ratings.
Who are you? I don't know. This is our first time ever, hearing about you. Like, we've never met you before, so I mean,
Nah. Yeah. But let's get into the next segment. Which is
why aren't you at SHOT Show?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah, you.
So we were initially going to go to SHOT Show, but I'll be honest, a lot of vendors have backed out, and like SHOT Show is a horse apiece. SHOT Show is great. I had a blast last year. It was a lot of fun, but like beginning of February, I'm heading out to the Western Hunting Expo.
Right.
Like that expo is more about collaborations and the whole picture. You've got everything from firearms to bows to outfitters, guides, you name it, and they're all kind of working together. SHOT Show is the complete opposite of that.
Oh yeah, it's how much money can they spend on advertising to show off their new goodies?
Oh, absolutely, and it's just like the kicker is like marketing's biggest thing is social media. You can honestly have some terrible products, and if you have a great social media, you're selling out of those products, and people get them, and they're like, "Well, I'm never doing that again." Well, too late, sucker. You already bought.
If it wasn't for social media, Black Rifle wouldn't be as big as it is.
Absolutely, but you look at like Glock at SHOT Show last year, where they had like not only their giant booth with their giant floor
they
space,
had Chuck Norris.
Yeah, well, they also had like a second tier that was all conference rooms with chairs and tables and TVs in it, and it's just like it's honestly it's a big dick swinging competition.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that, and I'll be honest, it's like 88,000 square feet or something like that.
It gets bigger every year.
I have one leg. I'm not walking that whole thing.
Where's your scooter? Just get a scooter, or have somebody push you around.
Have Tyr drag you.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a Walmart close by. I'll just like borrow one of their like motorized scooters.
Yeah.
Oh, last year I was cruising around in one of the action track chairs for like disabled vets. The metal wheelchairs with the tank tracks.
Yeah.
That was really hard though, because nobody wanted us to use the service elevators. So we're like ruining normal elevators trying to like slam this thing through those doors. At the Venetian, mind you. So if there's staff from the Venetian listening to this, yes, we are the ones that ruined your elevators.
Oh, shit.
It was all Jordan.
It was all Jordan. I wasn't there with him.
We'll send you his address and email if you want to send him a bill.
Yep. You can find him at One Leg Wonder 0311. That's his Instagram handle.
It's a 03LL lowercase. Yeah.
That's LL? Oh,
you
did it wrong,
no, it's not. I just don't want them to find me. So.
Oh. Okay, cool. Well, so what have you been up to either this last weekend, Jordan, or what do you got coming up this weekend, or things you're doing?
This weekend, honestly, it's super chill. Just nice, relaxing day at home with the family. Last weekend, we got haircuts.
That's big time.
Yeah, I know. Well, honestly, when like the men's barber shop is charging $30 a haircut, that is a day outing right there. especially when you're buying 3 haircuts. You know?
Oh yeah,
Well, yeah,
haircuts are expensive.
Yeah.
yeah. That's why I haven't
But-
got one since Amanda and I got engaged. I'll get one when she moves out here.
That's why I just sent my. That's why my wife went to beauty school for hair, and she just cuts my hair. I don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, but she even messaged me and said that your hair looks like shit.
Well, it's because I shaved it all off.
Yeah. You should just let it keep growing. I thought you were gonna do a mullet.
I'm trying
No,
to figure out too. If
I'm not a
Austin
hockey
has-
player.
If Austin has a beard going, or if it's just like
No,
a
I
dark
just-
shadow.
I just didn't
can't-
shave.
He
I can't grow a
it like
beard.
grows in like patches.
Yeah, I can't
Like-
grow a beard to save my life.
There's been times where we were about ready to like do the podcast, and he gets on the mic and stuff, and he's got like splotches of like just hair, like pubes almost looking on his face.
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, I'm like, you gotta go fucking shave, man. Like, get that shit off there.
Yeah, I can't grow a beard to save my life.
To shave your life, yeah.
To shave my
your
life, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Austin, what were you up to over?
Fucking nothing. Putting up with
No.
your bullshit because
Yeah.
you're doing a whole bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, no, we've had a shit ton of snow out here, both at the canyon and Flagstaff. So I've been doing a lot of snowboarding and a shit ton of shoveling snow. Like,
How's your
I
back
surely-
feeling,
I-
Rob?
I saw the Instagram video. You didn't shovel it all. You shoveled paths.
no,
No, that was his backyard.
That's my backyard. Like, I've been doing my driveway every day too. Like the driveway is what's killing me because all right, and I apologize for any
He's
of
just
our
making
listeners
excuses, is what he's doing.
I apologize for any of our listeners who might have heard this already because I can't remember if I said this last episode or not. But this is the only place I've lived that gets snow that the fucking plow driver is a fucking moron. Like, they take the plow, and you know this probably in Wisconsin. When you get snow, typically what you do is you drag the pile of snow over to the right, and you pretty much put it along people's yards. And then when you get to someone's driveway, you turn the blade in. That way, there's an entryway in and out. Because
Oh,
all
no.
the stuff that
Oh no,
what they don't do that for you.
that would make way too much sense.
I know. Well, they used to do that in Alaska. They did that in Wyoming. But instead, here, we have had probably at least a few
4
feet
feet?
of snow, like
At least
4
4
or
feet,
5
yeah.
feet, at least 4 or 5 feet of snow. Every single time it snows, these fucking dickheads like just keep the blade turned out. So they make a wall of snow and ice and just everything. And I'm out there like trying to dig that shit out with like
Yeah, you're
almost
out there
an
with your-
e-tool.
You're out there with your 2 good legs and mobility, and
It's
you know,
funny. I
just-
was actually
just
thinking that
just
as I was
enjoying-
saying that. I'm like, I'm
just
complaining
enjoying
to the
being
guy that's
outside.
got one leg. But
Yeah, why are you complaining to the guy that has one leg, huh?
I mean,
yeah,
like,
tell me
he's
how
got
much it sucked to go
sponsors.
for a run, Rob.
Yeah, he's got sponsors. Like someone from Black Rifle will fucking fly over. They'll fucking fast rope in. Like, oh Jordan, I heard you needed coffee and you need your
I mean,
driveway
it's
cleared
like Matt
out.
Best personally shows up and shovels your driveway, you know?
Yep. Don't lie to us. We know what you do. Yeah, but fuck this place and the way they plow snow. Last year wasn't a big deal because I think we got a total of 4 feet over like 3 months of like winter
Instead of
out
like
here.
3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
we're
it's-
supposed to get like 8 to 12 inches tonight.
Okay, I'll pray for you that your driver knows.
Maybe
how
you
to...
can use your
So wait,
leg
who
as
does
a
the
shovel.
driveway? Do you have a snowblower or does your wife do it?
I hire a plow company for that stuff, man.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
like-
not-
Honestly, that's probably the way to do it. But the problem is, I live at the park, so like we don't have
Yeah,
people
that,
come
that
in.
doesn't
I
exist
should
at the Grand
look
Canyon.
for that. There are people that drive around with plows here. Dude, I would
Yeah,
pay a
you just-
service
it-
for that shit.
And honestly, it's the best of both worlds because one, my driveway is like 150 yards, and half of that is uphill.
Oh,
And
wait,
it's just-
Rob's
yeah.
is like, Rob's complaining about like 10 feet of a driveway.
No, no.
Oh.
What is
My bad,
it's like
12 feet.
46 or like 52 inches. How many feet is that?
52 inches.
Something like that. Hang
52
on.
inches.
No.
That's 5 feet.
No. I got it wrong. Hang on. Bear with me. It's actually because I measured the driveway the other day because my parents are bringing a camper and they could fit up to a 46 foot. So it's like a 50-foot driveway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
mine's like
it's uphill.
100. Mine's like 150 yards.
Yeah, but you only have one leg. I have two good working legs.
No.
Yeah, so you should be able to shovel, right?
Yeah. So stop complaining, Rob.
Yeah, but no, my plow company, they have the insurance, so if they end up ruining something or like hitting the garage door, like that's covered, and then they'll plow it, and then they'll do like a salt and sand mixture on it as well.
I'm gonna have to go get her a bone already. So,
jeez, yeah, that's what Rob needs.
No, Rob needs to give Amanda a bone.
No, I'm saying you need a fucking plow. You know, hire a plow.
Yeah, I need a plow, Amanda. That's correct. Yeah. She'll probably listen to this episode. She actually really likes you. She thinks that you're a good person.
I don't know why.
I was like, he is not a good person at all. Why don't you tell him?
He may seem sweet and innocent on Instagram, but once you meet him in real life,
he isn't. Have you seen
facade.
the comments he leaves on shit? He's a horrible person. Go into his backstory a little bit. I'll be back in like a minute.
Okay, go plow Amanda and then come back. Okay, Jordan, let's get into your backstory. Who are you? When were you born? How much did you weigh? Were you born with one leg? I mean, how did that all happen?
So first, I think Rob needs to create a sign for his driveway that's called Amanda. So every time he goes out there to shovel, he can just say, "Yeah, I'm plowing Amanda right now." But no, I was born in Illinois. We moved to Wisconsin when I was little. Did the whole.
Do you like cheese?
I do. I am an advocate of cheese, but good cheese. Like we have a gas station brand called Quick Trip up here, but that's KWIK.
Right. Yeah.
It is phenomenal. You can buy fresh cheese curds. You can buy blocks of cheese. I mean,
you're in Wisconsin. Everything. It's like the cheese capital of the world.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, I grew up in Wisconsin pretty much my entire life then, and joined the Marine Corps at 18. And, I was one of those guys that like, I want to go contract infantry. That's the only thing I wanted to. Nice high GT score, nice high ASVAB score, and the recruiter just looks at me and he's like, "You're a dumbass," but that's what you want to do, so fine. Joined the Marine Corps. Went to boot camp, went to infantry school, and then went to my unit. And I mean, we did a workup for the 31st MEU, where we got to go around like Southeast Asia, different ports like that. Trained some Filipino Marines, South Korean Marines. Came back, did another workup, prep for Afghanistan, and I want to say it was like 3 months before we were leaving for Afghanistan. I get called into my first sergeant's office, and when you're on a Navy ship, like during a MEU, you don't really have a job, and so they FAP you out to these different areas of the ship. And so like the two areas I got FAP'd out to was like the gym on ship, and this was the USS Essex, so it was a LHD big freaking ship, right? And so I got FAP'd out to the gym, working like it was probably like 8 p.m. to like 2 or 4 a.m. So it was an amazing shift. Gym's practically empty. You get to work out. You randomly clean some equipment and call it a day. And then I also got to help with mail on the ship. And that's where I thought in the long run, this kind of screwed me over. So we're prepping for Afghanistan. 3 months beforehand, I get called my first sergeant's office. He's like, "Hey, our mail clerk just got sent to the brig for fraud. You're the only guy that has ever dealt with mail from the last deployment. We need you to be the battalion mail clerk." And it's funny because a lot of people don't realize like the battalion mail clerk job is actually slated for an 0311 infantry Marine. And so the mail clerk is attached to the S1 shop, and I remember just being in tears inside my first sergeant's office. It's like, that's not what I want to do. That's not why I joined the Marine Corps. Like, we're going to a combat zone. Like this just absolutely sucks. And it turned into one of the coolest experiences that I could have had. I mean, there were a lot of moments that sucked for sure. But like being attached to S1, like I was the adjutant security detail. And so the adjutant being your legal officer and also the guy that carries around all the money when he's going to pay elders and villages and things like that. It got to take me to a lot of cool places, pretty much all the patrol bases. I would help out because mail would be dropped off like once a week by Ospreys. Like the rest of the time, you're trying to fill that gap of what you're going to do. And so, I'm volunteering. I'm going with the police mentoring team. We're training Afghan armies and Afghan police. We're doing, I mean, everything under the sun. I got to ride in an up armored New Zealand dune buggy. I don't know if anybody else from our battalion even thought about that as an option over there, but I mean, it provided so many opportunities and it became such a cool experience that that it got me thinking like my battalion was terrible. I absolutely hated my battalion when I was in. There's so many bad choices. Leadership was subpar at best. And I had two options. I could get out of the Marine Corps or I could reenlist. And so I actually reenlisted overseas in Afghanistan to be a combat instructor. And my chain of command, which would be, my staff sergeant in charge and then with the adjutant. And I mean, then you have the sergeant major and battalion commander who are seeing me on a regular basis, volunteering, doing these things, going out different places, and not really wanting to stop doing any of that. And they had no problem writing the recommendation for a corporal, which was not a common thing, and it was fairly unheard of for a corporal to become a B billet combat instructor. And so, that's something recruiters do, drill instructors do. They changed it for a brief period there for combat instructors to get a better quality instructor in the door. And yeah, so I became a combat instructor as a corporal with their letters of recommendation from Afghanistan. And not only that, they had actually recommended me to go to ITB, which is the infantry training battalion, to train infantry Marines as well, seeing what I was doing over there. Got done with that and got out of the military, honorable discharge, had all my legs, had all my arms. And
we got to talk about something though on the military side. Austin, can you display that somehow? You got to unmute yourself to talk.
What am I displaying?
What I sent you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You fucking delete it? Post it back in there. Display that shit. All right. And then all right, you're training soldiers with sticks, rocks, and potato launchers, right?
Yeah, all the time.
And
he was teaching them how to jerk off. What are you talking about?
And with crayons, you got to write with crayons.
Yeah.
Okay. So all right, and then you got out. You had both your legs. Continue up. Oh, it didn't come through big enough. There you go. when you were talking about the Marine ship or the Navy ship, I was like, I need to grab that meme.
So that's the funny thing. The Air Force has a football team, the Army, the Navy, but the Marine Corps actually works for a living. We don't have time for games.
Oh,
you guys just don't have the funding.
No, we don't.
For those of you who are not,
all their money is put into crayons,
Spotify,
okay?
Or don't know how to use YouTube. Meme that basically just said, I got to bring it back up.
Yeah,
Army
Navy game.
The one time of the year, one day, the Marines will admit that they are Navy. Did we lose Austin?
No, I'm here.
He's still here.
Oh. Okay.
Did we lose Rob? Mentally.
Continue your stuff.
Yeah, so I got out of the military, honorable discharge, all my appendages, and became a firefighter. And I talk about this pretty regularly where you have like a year to a year and a half grace period after getting out of the military. and your body's not used to not being under the rigorous element that the like active duty military is, runs, lifts, the gear, the whole 9 yards, and your body starts just giving you the big middle finger there. And so I end up
And
having
most
to
people just
medically,
start drinking when they get out. Like as soon as they just
yeah,
start drinking.
yeah, no, I got hired part-time onto a fire department before I'd even actually got out of the military, started working there right away, going to college for firefighting, like the whole 9 yards. And like a year and a half into it, my body was just saying no, like pinched nerves in my spine and leg issues, and yeah, so that kind of ties it into, like I started being seen for my legs. Disability paperwork, had bilateral leg numbness, knee strain, lack of sensation, things like that in my legs. And VA initially was telling me like, oh, you're going to need a knee replacement on both your knees, but we can't do that before the age of 30 for you. So it's just like, I'm being seen, what starts as like every month, and then like a year and a half later, it's every other week. And so all of a sudden by 2016, um, I'm being seen regularly for my legs. I'm having issues. Like there's just pain, discomfort, and um, a nurse up in Green Bay, Wisconsin, at the VA clinic decided one day to take a pulse of my foot, which I realized had never actually happened before. And she realizes that when my knees were bent, I had no pulse in my left foot and a super weak pulse in my right foot. So they had me within surgery. They had me in surgery within like a month, which is super fast for the VA to do anything like that. And they explained to me
Fuck
like,
yeah.
listen, you have this condition called popliteal artery entrapment, which is where your legs took damage while you're in the military, repetitive damage that they never healed from correctly the first time, and so all that scar tissue and muscle tissue heals wrong, and it creates a vice grip effect on your arteries. And I'm just like, oh, like that's it. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna go in, we're gonna do a super simple surgery, like not a big deal. And they left it super vague. So I have the surgery in January of 2017, and I have my follow-up appointment after the surgery. Mind you, like I'm in the hospital for like 6 or 7 days, and like there's no PT happening. I'm just chilling in a room. Like it was so unsupervised even that, I mean, I had one of those breathing tubes in for the surgery because the surgery takes a couple hours, and like the whole 9 yards. And I was able to not only order a pizza, but I was halfway done with the pizza in my room. And you're not supposed to, like, you're supposed to start out with like water, like room temperature water, and just kind of like work up from there. And here I am like mowing down on like Papa John's pizza. So the nurse like walks in after I've been in this room, and I think my wife was with me too at the time. For like 3 or 4 hours after surgery, I'm completely conscious, just eating pizza with her. And she's like, "Oh, you're not supposed to be eating that." And I'm just like, "I'm halfway through. Do you want a slice?" Like, and she's like, "Okay, I guess that's fine." But like, no PT follow up, like physical therapy and stuff. And my follow up appointment after that, when my wife and I went back there, like I'm having more pain in my leg than what I did beforehand, and now I'm having swelling on top of it. And so that just got worse, like tenfold worse across the board. And come to find out that it was not a super simple surgery. They actually like disconnected muscle tissue, like reformed that behind my left knee, rerouted some arteries, like a lot of different things happened there. That is just like, I shouldn't have even been walking for like the first month. I should have had a wheelchair I was taking home with me. And yeah, so needless to say, 10 months after that first surgery, we end up having a above knee amputation. So my left leg at the end of it, what, like I had severe chronic pain, high risk of blood clot and DVT. I was borderline sepsis in my leg. I mean, discoloration, hair loss, and I was wearing a size 10 shoe on my right foot and a size 16 Croc on my left foot because it was the only thing I could wear.
Jeez.
So it sucked. Like even wearing pants was not something that I could regularly do with my left leg because it wouldn't fit into a pants leg. And this was before like skinny jeans really became like a fad too, mind you. I know Rob is like super big on skinny jeans, and it's
he
just like,
he
dude,
wears them
like
every day.
he's like, I'm like, dude, ditch the yoga pants, get something with a little more relaxed fit in there, Rob.
I don't know what
And
you're talking
so
about.
Skinny jeans and Crocs. That's his daily.
So one of the big issues that I encountered after that first surgery was there was an MRI technician or an MRI supervisor that had come in and was looking at the MRI they did after the surgery, because they want to obviously check to make sure blood flow is all happening properly and stuff like that. And he mentioned to my doctor that it could be a congenital issue. So congenital issues
What's that
aren't
mean?
technically. So congenital issues are something that you're born with. So saying I was born with bad muscles in my leg, mind you, like I played soccer growing up, I ran growing up, like I had no issues until, halfway through my military service with my legs. And as a combat instructor, I mean, you're going up and down California mountains with gears, packs every month and a half. It's a repetitive cycle that you're doing on top of being in the infantry and Afghanistan and everything else. So for him to say it was a congenital issue, wipe the slate clean. And initially they were considering it a service-connected disability because I had all the symptoms documented in my VA paperwork. And come to find out, too, knee strain's not even a diagnosis, it's a symptom. And so having knee strain as a disability that shows you how wrong the VA disability system is. So that started a 2.5-year fight with the VA to get benefits for a surgery. And during that time, I ended up having the leg removed. So now I'm above knee left leg amputee. And I'm still fighting for benefits for all of that. And so we had finally gotten awarded 100% disability. They traced it back to the military service through all the different injuries that I had while I was in. And they had hired a private care health professional that was closer to me than the VA was to go over my paperwork. And walking in the office that day for what would be like my final physical for my VA claim, I was scared to death. I went up to the counter, I introduced myself, I checked in, and she's like, "You're here early." And I'm almost like, this is one of the biggest decisions that's being made in my life. Like, this is, this is it. And I had gone through the appeals process the whole 9 yards. Like, this was the final doctor's appointment that was going to decide pretty much everything moving forward. And as I'm talking to her, I see a doctor tell the front desk lady that he's going out to lunch. He'll be back in an hour. And I mean, he was super pissed. I mean, just you could see like just heat rising off of him. He was just furious. And I just casually asked him, I was like, "Just curious, is that my doctor?"
Is he mad because of me?
And she's like, "Yes, it is." And I'm
Oh,
just like,
fuck.
I'm like, "Oh my God." And I'm just like,
This
my
isn't
heart,
good.
my heart sank. Like, I'm sitting down, my eyes are getting watery. And the nurse had actually come out from behind the desk and sat down next to me. And she's just like, "This is what he's been doing all morning." So he canceled all of his patients that morning when he started going over my VA paperwork and the issues that we were fighting for. And he's just like, so he canceled all his patients that morning and went in depth with this highlighter and pen. And literally, I mean, like, you took my medical record and it was just colorful. And it was all the symptoms of this popliteal artery entrapment he found throughout my various injuries in the military that he figured out was the root cause of my popliteal artery entrapment. So when I end up being inside this patient room and the nurse is with me, she takes my vitals like they always do. The doctor walks in and he's just like, "This is absolute bullshit," and just slams the medical paperwork down. And he's like, "I am so tired of the VA fucking you guys around." And it's just like, and all of a sudden, like, my heart was just beating out of my chest. And he's just like, "We are going to fix this. I have all of the information I need. I didn't even need you to come in today." And it's just like, I'm writing my letter of recommendation, which I mean is realistically the final say here. And it's just like, I remember driving home and just calling my wife and just being in tears, telling her that this appointment could not have gone better. And it's just like, I think we're going to be fine. So, yeah, I mean, so we got approved finally in September of 2019 or something for our 100% disability, the legs covered. And thank God I didn't do both leg surgeries at the same time. But yeah, I mean, and me missing a leg, I truly believe, yes, the VA did fuck up. but there's a plan for everything that happens in your life. And where this started from, and the heartache and the struggle and the issues that we had, and what that's turned into now is, I mean, incomprehensible. It's the opportunities, the job that I have, you know, just the whole 9 yards. My life as we know it right now is because the VA messed up a surgery. I don't know where I would be right now, you know, what job I'd be working, where I'd be living, you know, had that not happened, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean it's a lot to go through.
it's it's crazy because we didn't know you then, and that was a huge struggle for you to go through with your family. And from what I understand, because you and I have talked privately quite a bit over the
Yeah.
years, your wife has always been your rock, and she's always been in your corner for you. And that was like one of those struggles you had before us, which led to even other opportunities that were taken away from you and
Mhm.
then reversed for the better. Do you want to, maybe tell our listeners about some of the other tribulations that you had to go through to get to where you are today?
Um, what, like the service dog thing?
I would
I
love
think
to
that
talk about the
I
service
think that's
dog
what he's
thing.
getting at. Where he's getting
That's
at.
what I'm fishing for,
So
because
Tyr,
we
come here,
we were a
come here,
little bit a part of
come
that.
here,
Austin was a big
come,
part of it.
come here,
Oh, there he
come here.
is. There's
Oh,
Tyr.
oh, hey, get up here. Come on, come on.
He's like,
Oh,
oh, that's as far as I'm
oh,
going, Dad.
there we go. Hey, there
There's
we go.
Tyr. Oh,
There he is.
handsome boy.
Hmm.
Such a sweet
So,
boy.
so losing a leg does different things to you. You know, like I've always been big on being able to be there and protect my family. And when you're missing a leg, you realize like it's not just as easy as jumping out of bed when you hear something in the dark. You know,
Mhm.
it's not as
You
easy as,
you hop after them with carrying your leg.
yeah. I remember one time that my son had fallen, and I was in my wheelchair at the time. You know, like I didn't even have, I think, a prosthetic leg at the time. And or no, it was actually, I just got done with my right leg surgery, and my son had fallen, and my wife was in another room, and he is just bawling in tears, and there was no way for me to get to him to even pick him up. And like after the amputation, before I got a prosthetic, like I was deathly afraid of picking up my kids, because my oldest son was super small at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And which is cool because we caught on video. It was a Sunday at church that I wasn't initially planning on going to, but I showed up and I had my prosthetic leg, and it was the first time as an amputee that I picked my son up in the air and just held him close to me, and it was a milestone moment for me. But all those different things does something to you, both the military aspect with PTSD, but the anxiety aspect after you get out and something like that happens, like it's rough. And the fight against the VA tore me down, like emotionally, mentally, physically, the whole 9 yards. And it sucked. And so I started going through the process of um, trying to help myself with that mental health aspect, and trying different things, counselors and small groups and talking with buddies. Like, it only goes so far. And I've been a huge dog lover my entire life. Like, I rescued a 1.5-year-old husky malamute from a animal shelter in California, like while I was a combat instructor and married. No idea about the breed. I just knew like I wanted a dog. My parents never had a dog for us. They actually got 2 cats for us. And they're like, hey, if you show responsibility with 2 cats, we will get a dog once they pass away. Those cats lived to 21 and 22 years old.
Yeah,
It was a
cats. Some cats live forever.
it was a lie. They never were going to get a dog. So my first opportunity once I was married, I got a freaking dog. But I've always had a connection with dogs. I've always loved hanging out with dogs, and it's been a mutual thing. Um, so I had applied to a service dog organization in Wisconsin, and as soon as I had like the in-person interview, like I had filled out all the paperwork, they moved locations, and so they were about like a 2.5 hour drive away from me. But like I figured it's worth it, like I'm gonna go up there, sit down, have the interview, And during the actual interview, the guy that ran the organization had a service dog of his own, and he's asking me about a bunch of different things. And I mean, this wasn't far after being finally approved by the VA, still having that huge mental fight that I'm going through internally and not letting on to other people. And I mean, my anxiety's flaring up. I'm having like a mini panic attack. Like it's just, it's not good. And his service dog had gotten up from his bed, came over to me, put his head on my lap, and I just started petting him. And before you knew it, like all that emotion, that feeling of a grenade exploding inside your chest with no place to go and you can't release it, had just gone away. And the dog went and laid back down. And the kicker was, I didn't know what happened. And so the guy who ran the organization at the service dog, he stopped the interview right there. And he's just like, do you know what just happened? And I'm just like, no, like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he explained to me, like, his service dog had literally just gotten up and responded to me, who was trained specifically for him. And I had no recollection of this dog doing it. I just knew that feeling inside me was gone. And I knew this was the right path that I needed to go down now. And that organization was a huge flop.
Yeah, you had a lot of issues.
So I ignored the red flags, because once you get a taste of something that helps, you want to keep doing it. It's like heroin. It's just like you do it once, you're hooked for life, and it's just like I knew a service dog was the right route for me, and I didn't know how to get there in the right way. And so I ignored the $400 application fee for a 501c3 nonprofit. I ignored the 6 guys who had been in the program between like a year and a half to 3 years who did not have fully trained service dogs. Like I ignored all these facts. And when they tried pairing me with the service dog, I was absolutely I was in tears meeting the dog for the first time. Come to find out, I learned that dog was scheduled to have a PTLO tear surgery later that month. So a dog that I'm going to use for bracing to help me get up off the ground has a rear leg tear. Yeah, has a rear leg tear. And as soon as that dog had the surgery and started healing up, the other leg tore. So now it's got a super reoccurring condition of a PTLO tear in both rear legs, and they've got no plan. They're still planning on giving me this dog. And it's just like, well, time out. Like, this is where I'm like,
I don't want this dog.
I end up going down to an event called Helicopters for Heroes. And it was my first veteran event that I had ever been to, and it changed my aspect on who I am and what I can do. So Helicopters for Heroes is based out of Enos, Texas, and they bring beneficiary organizations to do a helicopter hog hunt down in Texas. So you're shooting ARs out of helicopter doors, just slaughtering hogs over all this land. And it's an awesome event, but that event did more for me than just like a super cool experience. I got to see guys with no legs. I got to see guys with no arms. I've seen a blind dude at the event shoot like 12 hogs with an AR with assistive devices, and it's just like, it blew up. This guy literally had no eyes, and he had a veteran assistant with him, helping him aim and still pull the trigger. And he shot, I think it was like the record number for in one flight.
That's incredible.
And it showed me what we're capable of. And it taught me that we're not disabled veterans. We're adaptive veterans. We can still do everything that we want to do. We just have to do it in a different way, but we're still going to rock it doing it. A buddy of mine had linked me up with the organization that he was a part of, and I met him at that event, which was out of St. Louis, another service dog organization. And as soon as I got back from that Texas event, I was on the phone like 2 nights later with the CEO of the organization. And I explained to him right up front, I'm like, listen, at this time, I mean, my dog is like an 8-year-old Husky Malamute, tons of years left on him, like the whole 9 yards. And I'm just like, I have a Husky Malamute at home. He's 8 years old. He's a 90-pound house cat, super friendly. He socialized with kids and dogs and the whole 9 yards, no issues whatsoever. He's like, listen, every veteran's different. Every case is different. And we'll cross each bridge when we get to it. But he's like, I'm putting you right into the program. So what was it? Later, I was in that program for roughly, I'd say, a year and a half. And it was full of ups and downs. And so, waiting is the hardest part about any service dog organization. And I'll say that in wholehearted truth, that waiting sucks. Like
Mm-hmm.
Marine Corps, military in general, is hurry up and wait, and you're tired of it. And so I waited, and I get notification that they have selected a dog that fits me and my lifestyle, and his name was Captain. Well, they brought Captain out. They sent me pictures of Captain. They kept me updated on training, and they ended up having the lead trainer. The lead trainer reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, I need to schedule a call between you, me, and the CEO." And all of a sudden, I just got this like gut wrenching feeling. Like I've been in the program for 6 to 8 months at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And CEO gets on the phone the next day, and he's like, "We don't give service dogs to veterans who already have dogs at home." And 8 months of waiting, and my heart just sunk. I was emotionally
especially
crushed.
when you told them this at the fucking beginning.
Mm-hmm. I was emotionally crushed. He's just like, "You either need to get rid of your dog, or you need to wait until your dog passes away to continue in the program." And I was I was in pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was, I want to say like 2 months later, I get an email from the vice president of the organization. "Hey, we're bringing Captain out to you in February for a week to see how you two interact and to see how your dog and this service dog interacts with each other." And immediately, like, you're at a low, and then all of a sudden you find out this happening, and you just shoot right back up again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm super excited. February comes the next year, and I get introduced to this dog, and again, I'm in tears. Like, this is potentially my service dog, my first time interacting with them. I mean, words don't describe it. I mean, Rob, you have a service dog. I mean, when you met Allie for the first time, well, that was it.
Yeah, it was everything, and
Mm-hmm.
she still is everything. And yeah,
Yep.
and we knew you at this point too.
Yep. So
we were all excited for you.
Yeah. So that's when, the two dogs did phenomenal. Lead trainer saying, "Listen, 99% chance this works absolutely phenomenal." But he's like, "There's that 1% chance that the two dogs could get in a fight in the house and bite
That's
one
with
of your
any
kids."
dog.
That's exactly what I said. So I'm like, and I'm literally saying this, and it's just like, so yeah, we had planned out trips for like the next 2 months between going back and forth to St. Louis, me going there, them coming here, all interactions with the dog. The CEO had personally invited me to walk around publicly at one of their largest charity events with this service dog. And pretty much it's that let the world know this is my service dog moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like 2 weeks after that visit that, again, I have a meeting with the lead trainer and the CEO, and he's like, "We do not give service dogs to veterans that already have dogs at home." And crushed doesn't explain it. Like, I don't like to yell at people who try to help, but I yelled on that phone call.
No,
And it's just like, I explained my frustrations. I explained, like, "Listen, I'm done with you guys. Like, I can't do this. You guys have mentally crushed me 2 times now." And shortly after that is when I made the Instagram video reaching out and asking for help if anybody knew of service dog organizations that worked with veterans who had another dog at home.
Mm.
And that's where you guys came into play.
Yeah, I mean, because that was, because we want to help any way we can, because you deserve, especially after being emotionally and mentally wrecked through with what you went through. I mean, the first person I sent it to was Rescue 22.
But also, Austin, you reached out to like 40 different companies.
Oh yeah, I sent it to a shit ton, like anybody I could find.
I sent it
to anybody I could find that was Rescue Dog.
Like, now let me tell you about some of the organizations that did contact me. I think because of Austin reaching out to so many.
I sent it to anybody I could think of.
Yeah. So there's one organization that reached out, and they're like, "Oh man, had we known a week ago, we had a 9-year-old bull mastiff that would have been perfect for you." And so I don't know how much you guys know about bull mastiffs, but
they live to like 10.
They live to about 10 years old, and they imprint on one person their entire life. That's it. They have one alpha, and what's the chances that I'm that one alpha 9 years into this dog's life.
Yeah,
Right.
And then on top of it, the dog has no training.
Oh, you ain't gonna train a 9-year-old, yeah.
So that, so it got to the point where like I was kind of vetting the veteran dog service organizations. Another one reached out and he's like, hey, like we just paired a veteran and a dog, and he's deaf, and the two are doing amazing together. He's got another dog at home too. And I'm just like, oh, you got a deaf veteran, a service dog? He's like, no, the dog is deaf. I'm just like, time out. Time out.
The dog is deaf.
I'm like, what do you mean the service dog is deaf? And he's just like, oh no, he uses hand signals to communicate with the dog. I was like, no, I understand how you communicate with deaf people, but like, it's a service dog, and it's just like, I didn't like, I had done a lot of research, and everything that I had come up with over like 3 years of this process now was service dogs need to have all 4 legs, can hear, can see.
You don't want a 3-legged deaf dog?
Yes, and is generally young and healthy, and so he then tells me that his service dog has 3 legs.
Of course.
And he's like, we don't discriminate against dogs. And I'm just like, no, I understand that. I love dogs. Like, it's right. Believe me, if I can work a way to have a 3-legged dog as my service dog, I would be the guy to do that. We would match in that aspect.
Fit together perfectly.
But like a mobility dog with 3 legs doesn't work for me. Like, that's just not possible. But then all of a sudden, Rescue 22 Foundation had reached out to me. And before I dove too deep, like I went on their website, I went on Instagram, I checked them out, and I was just like, oh, Jack Carr likes Rescue 22 Foundation.
You're like, I know this guy.
I'm like, I had
never heard of
Jack
him.
Carr. I had met Jack
Carr who's that?
2 years prior, or a year and a half prior, at the first veteran adaptive shoot with Black Rifle Coffee. In fact, I'm pretty sure he actually was one of our COVID outbreaks, which then sent the email saying, hey, go get checked for COVID. Jack Carr. Jack Carr came down with COVID. And I'm just like, well, geez, if this place is good enough for Jack Carr, and the service dog wasn't for Jack Carr, it was for Jack Carr's son. And I'm just like, okay, like if he's willing to trust an organization with his son's well-being with this service dog, like, yes, I'm going to give this place 110% shot. And that organization stood out to me too, because like Angela is absolutely amazing, but it's their trainers. Mm-hmm. You have Byron, you have John Devine, you have Will Aking, that all these guys are veterans themselves.
And they own their own dog companies.
And they own the most successful dog companies like on the East Coast. And so these guys started Rescue 22 Foundation because they saw a need for service dogs and veterans. And Byron was actually the first person in the organization to receive a service dog. Getting to know these guys, they knew the aspect of waiting. They knew the struggle with service dog organizations. And it sucks, but majority of veterans that go through Rescue 22 have had those failures with other service dog organizations. And it's just like, it's obviously not ideal, but they're there.
You gotta weed out the bad to get to the good.
Yep. So I spent, I think it was about a year in the program, and last December, Angela broke a little bit of protocol, and she's just like, hey, we've picked out your dog. You guys are going to be perfect together. And I'm just like, listen, like we had gone over stipulations on service dogs. Like I can't do any kind of oodle. And it's just like, I love dogs, but I
want a 3-legged poodle.
Right? You have oodle at the end of that, golden doodles, labradoodles, poodles. Like, I get they're great with training and they're hypoallergenic, but like they bug the absolute shit out of me. Like they are just, to me, they're an ugly dog.
Hey, it would fit perfectly with you though.
And then I was honest with them too, and I'm like, listen, like I cannot do a Belgian Malinois. I can't do a German Shepherd. Like that energy level, I like to be up. I like to be outdoors. I go different places. I travel. But like these are not dogs that realistically would work for me, and they absolutely respected that. And then my third stipulation was let them have a cool name. like I'm like anything Viking, Norse mythology, military. Like you could literally name him like Bamsis, and I'm going to love this dog with all my heart. You know, like I could care less. And she's like,
Unless
okay,
it's a
we got
poodle.
that. Yeah. And like that was at the beginning of the year where we went over like this huge checklist over the needs that I have, the abilities I need the dog to have, you know, the whole 9 yards. And so when she sends me a picture of Tyr, a 3-year-old golden retriever that is, I mean, oh, look at it. Look at his face. Look at
The cutest golden retriever ever.
Yep, and he's got this like hair floof right here too. That is
Got
like
his
his puppy
mohawk.
fur. Yeah, his puppy fur just like never like fell out, and it's just there. And no, it's and you know when the day came and Will came to the house, and Tyr was all done with his training, and it was the first introductions. I was nervous as can be. Like this is the third time I'm going through this. Like I'm
Yeah.
praying to God that this works. And again, just being in tears. But Tyr and I, like, there's not a ton of dogs that have an instant connection with the veteran and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
But when Will let him out of his freaking giant, 15 passenger overlanded van with dog kennels inside of it, Tyr came over right to me, stood next to me. Will's walking around the truck. Will is grabbing things. He's disappearing. And Tyr had never left my side during that period. And it was like, we just knew, like, this was it. And so for integrations happening, like it could be a week, it could be a week and a half. Like, you don't know how long an integration is going to last.
Mm-hmm.
The morning of the 4th day, Will is like, you guys are good. I'm gone. Like, and it's just like, Tyr was responding to me, and, we work on it every day. You do that with any service dog.
Mm-hmm.
But like I have thrown some of the most crazy things at Tyr. Like Tyr has lived more in the last, I got him in like July. So the last like 6-7 months that I've had him, Tyr has lived more than some people have lived their entire lives. And
100%. Yes. Yes.
I could not be more thankful to Rescue 22 Foundation. Like Tyr's been trained for everything from body pressure therapy to help with phantom limb pains, to the anxiety and PTSD alerts, to mobility stuff, being able to retrieve items off the ground for me, brace to have me stand up. Like you name it, he's there to help constantly. And dogs are one of those amazing creatures where they don't need to know, they don't need you to explain what's happening inside of you or what's happening inside your head or what you're thinking about. They have the ability to sense that there's something wrong, and they are going to come over to you and not leave your side.
Oh yeah, they just know, and that's with any dog. Like it doesn't
Yep.
matter if it's a service dog or not.
Yep.
Like dogs know if you're not okay. Like
when I had my amputation, my dog Bear, which is the 90-pound husky Malamute, like laid next to me every night. Like I couldn't even get up the stairs to the side-by-side duplex we were living in at the time. It was one of those things, like I was down on the futon bed in the living room, and he was with me just constantly. Now Bear's turned into my wife's dog, and I'm home with him all the time, and he could care less about that, and then follow my wife around when she gets home and not leave her side. Yeah.
It's like, you replaced me. How dare you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, it's, Rescue 22 Foundation. They created a lifeline for me that I knew I needed, but had no idea how to get there myself. So, kudos.
They're amazing. We've had them on, we've worked with them, and like I said, they're just an amazing organization and amazing people over there.
In fact, I want to try to give back in some way to Rescue 22 Foundation. So I got them as a beneficiary the end of next month at that same Helicopters for Heroes organization, which they will be out at. And I've been out there the last 3 years. This will be my 4th year going. And that's been crazy because that kind of worked as the first 2 years. The first year I was a beneficiary. The second year, the organization that brought me out, they weren't a beneficiary, but they loved the event so much that they brought another group of veterans, and I was part of that. Last year, I was the keynote speaker there. And then this year, I'm actually part of the corporate sponsorship team.
Fancy.
Yep. So I'm actually working my first Helicopters for Heroes event. But it's not really work at that point. It's more of like,
you
hey,
say working.
yeah.
I mean,
I'll be honest. I love my job. It's, I don't consider, when you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life.
mm-hmm.
So
tell the listeners about your Alaska hunt that you just did with Tyr, because that was super cool.
Yeah, Tyr and I went up to Alaska for work to hunt blacktail during rut in November. We went out to Kodiak Island, Alaska, had an amazing guide, Cole Kramer. He runs, one of the best guide services I've ever used. Granted, he's the only guide service I've ever actually used, but still the best one I've ever used, hands down. I met him through Black Rifle Coffee at their veteran adaptive shoots for archery the first year that it ran, and had just stayed in contact with them. And we were initially, like, for work supposed to go to Hawaii and hunt access deer, and we're like a month before the trip and nothing is planned. And I'm in Colorado at the time, sitting down having meetings. And I'm like, we need to either cut this loose and find something else, or we need to fully commit and plan this out this week while I'm here. And they're like, we don't know what other options that we have. So I get on the phone. I Instagram message Cole, and I'm like, hey, we've talked sporadically over the last 2 years. Like, do you have anything open this fall for hunting? And he's just like, funny enough, like, I've got Kodiak Island, Alaska, blacktail during rut in November. I'm like, done. He's just like, do you want to talk price? And I'm like, I'm not paying for it. Work is like, yes, it's just done.
Like, I'm not paying for it. I don't care.
So yeah, we did everything from the initial flights going up there. Colorado to, like, Wisconsin to Colorado to Anchorage to Kodiak. And then we spent like 2 nights in Kodiak. We figured out all our gear and stuff like that. And Cole had a ton of waterproof bags for us, like those really nice Yeti ones. And I'll get to that in a second. But then we took a boat plane, like 3 hours or something? No, we took a boat plane for like an hour and a half to Kodiak Island, did a 3-hour rafting ride to base camp, and then hunted for the next week. And Tyr was there for all of it, from the boat planes to the raft to, he was laying on the ground right next to me when I took my 308 bolt action and nailed a beautiful shot into a 10-point blacktail deer and never flinched.
Yeah.
Austin, bring up his IG.
I'm working on it. I got it right here.
Yeah, we wanted to show our listeners and viewers some of your stuff on your Instagram, preferably maybe that hunt.
I don't know. You don't post much on your Instagram, Jordan.
I'm getting back into it.
Do you have stuff from that hunt on here?
I don't
know. Well, I got a video series from the hunt on there.
Where's that?
So you got this one when they first brought Tyr.
That's my first interaction with Tyr, where he came and just was right next to me the entire time.
There we go.
And he was so happy. Look at
yeah. But yeah, he's like, yep, that's my human. Like, yep. He knew that he was made for you.
Here you go. So,
which one?
I'm looking.
Well, fucking look faster.
I know, right? I'm sorry. The things that I do post are really important sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay, how about this? I am actually going to send over to our group text, which I love the name of our group text between 3 of us, which is Rob is a Dick.
Well,
has not changed.
If it wasn't for me, this wouldn't even happen. Although Jordan's been way too busy for us, because we asked him like 2 months ago to probably come on just to talk about everything. He's like,
you act like he has a trip. Well, he might have a life
because
compared
Austin,
to some of us.
Austin never actually sent me any information as far as like, hey, why don't you come on, man?
Yeah, I know. It was me.
I know.
I pretty much did this.
I was like, fuck you, Jordan. I don't want you on here.
Yep.
year 2023, Rob actually has to work more on the podcast than Austin
Oh,
does.
okay.
When that was the original agreement that Rob was just
For
going to show up and
yeah,
talk to the
for
guests.
one guest.
I'm doing this all the time lately.
Oh, apparently I can't see that on the computer. It doesn't work.
I was gonna
Where's
say,
he sending it to?
I'm sending it to the Instagram Messenger.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at it on the computer. It says use the Instagram app to see this message. It doesn't work.
Oh,
gotcha.
So I can't share it. Yeah, you can't share it then.
Are we friends on Facebook, Jordan?
Hold on. I'll just text you.
Or text it to me, and then I can get it over to Austin. Well, while he's doing that, like, you know, I definitely want to caveat on something you said. You know, Rescue 22, we've been working with for probably like getting close to 2 years now. We've known them. They've been an organization that we've worked with towards collecting donations towards, and they're a company that we look forward to working with every year. The entire crew over there is amazing, and we can't speak more highly of them. I don't know if we have an event coming up in March, and I mean, unless Austin disagrees with me and we find a different company, my plan was for March for Miles, probably working with them again if they wanted to, or finding.
No, we don't like them. No.
Okay, if we don't like them,
No,
we don't have to.
We don't like that company. Yeah, no.
Absolutely not.
No, it's just it's really cool what they do for other for veterans and for the dogs, because a lot of their dogs are rescues themselves, and you know, we've talked about it quite a bit on this podcast. If you're an avid listener, you know, it's just amazing. They're literally saving 2 lives. They're rescuing a dog and training it for a purpose, and
training it for assholes like Jordan, you know.
Yeah.
Do you know what my phone number is, or did you already text it? Oh, you
just
did.
texted it to you.
Yep. Okay. Here,
and then there is one more photo coming in too, but that's not the hunting photo.
All right. Is it a dick pic?
I knew it.
Oh my god, that picture is so good. Yeah, I'll get these sent over to Facebook Messenger, and we'll see if we can do it that way.
Hurry the fuck up. Come on.
Well, you guys just keep talking.
So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, we love. So, something I want to ask about is about your leg, Jordan. Is what was the hardest part of losing your leg?
It was honest. It was the mental game. It was the mental game with losing my leg. Like, it wasn't, you know. I remember being in the hospital bed after the amputation, and you know, my wife was in there. We kept the kids at home for a couple days with like my parents.
What the fuck did you send me at the end there?
That was a dick pic.
Oh my god, dude! What the fuck?
That's a black deer. That's
I was gonna say, is that for the balls of the deer?
Okay. Yeah, that's more than just balls. That's shaft and balls. That's twig and berries.
I can see it. He's packing small. I think we'll get kicked off YouTube if we post that.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah,
we're not gonna share that. I'm not sending that. But Austin, I sent all those other pics.
Yeah, I got them.
I don't remember what I was just talking about. Like,
the mental aspect of losing your leg.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, I was in tears when I came to, you know, when I was like still on pain meds, still on a morphine drip and stuff. But I mean, I was in tears because it was the first time in almost a year that I wasn't in pain.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, that was the hardest part about that 10 months in between the first surgery and the amputation was it was constant pain. Like, I couldn't run with my kids. It hurt to stand up. Like, I just wanted to be on the couch the entire time, not doing anything. And like, that's not a way to live. And we had actually started the process of doing a elective amputation, and it got to the point before the surgery that like, you're running such a high risk of developing sepsis with your leg, like we have to take it regardless. That's it. And but I mean, we were prepared for it. Like, it was one of those caveats where it's just like, had you lost it over in Afghanistan, like you were prepared for it because that was part of your job, like it's an IED
Right.
that happens. Majority, like 99% of the guys who are missing limbs out of veterans, it happened overseas. I had 10 months to mentally prepare for that amputation, and I never expected coming out of that surgery where I wasn't actually going to feel pain for the first time. And it was, it brought me to tears. We had prepped my only son at the time, Jace, as much as we could. I mean, we even went to Build-A-Bear, built a stuffed monkey, had the lady like sew one of the legs up inside of the monkey to make it an amputee as well. And I have pictures of when he visited me in the hospital for the first time. And it was one of those things like you could tell like the wheels were turning, like there was some confusion here.
He's
And
like, wait,
we had told him
where
like,
did his leg go?
yeah, and I mean, I think he was like 2.5, maybe 3 years old at the time. And so just like, any kid's gonna have questions and stuff. And he's like,
Yeah.
Dad, what happened? And I had this whole thing planned out too for like what happened to my leg. And we had explained to him that like
you're gonna tell him a story.
Yeah, Daddy's leg is bad, and so the doctor's taking. No, I come right off the left field with a dinosaur ate it. Like just, and so like every nurse and doctor that came into the room, he is repeating a dinosaur ate my dad's leg, and it's just like, and he is actively like making sure like it's not coming back. So we had to squash that pretty quick because it's just like the first time he told the doctor, kind of funny. Second and third time he told the nurse, still funny. Fourth time, it's like, okay, we got to stop this. Like we can't. But like the mental game afterwards, because I mean, we were still in like the first third of a fight against the VA for benefits. So I mean, the amputation solved one issue, this really bad leg that got all jacked up. But now we have to set our goals, and we got to set our minds on finishing this fight with the VA, and doing that, we'll still try to get some aspect of normalcy in our lives that have just been flipped upside down. So
okay, let's see. I'm gonna bring up those pictures. Let's see.
You just gave us, by the way, the title to what we're naming this episode: "A Dinosaur Ate My Dad's Leg," featuring Jordan, the one-legged wonder.
Yep.
Yeah, we hear like. Go ahead. Sorry.
I went hunting one time before, like when I first got out of the military in 2014. Like I went hunting. I had a second season with like not even seeing a deer. And then I had not gone hunting again until 2018, which was, I mean, roughly about 1 year after losing my leg. And I don't know if you see that, oh, nope, right there.
Over there.
Beautiful, that beautiful 10-point buck.
What are you talking about? You bought that at Walmart.
Yep.
You got that at Walmart.
Shot it right on the property that we moved into.
But yeah, here's some, like, this picture is amazing. So this picture with just you in tears, and then
it helps too when your work is providing like professional camera guys to come out and take photos.
Right. There you go.
Yep.
And how long did you stalk that deer for?
About 30 minutes.
Oh, that's it.
So first day of us actually hunting, we went on top of this ridge, and it's overlooking like this lake, this river that's going, I mean, probably 80 yards across. But we're on top, and all of a sudden this buck just comes out the side, and they're like, "Hey, who's ready?" And the other guys, so we brought an auction winner from this last year's Helicopters for Heroes event with us. He paid big money to do a hunt with us, so we brought him up to Kodiak Island, Alaska, to hunt. And he wasn't ready at all. So I'm just like, I'm ready. And Tyr and I get up, and they're like, okay, you got to stay low. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to stay as low as I possibly can, but it's not like I can crouch with a prosthetic leg walking. Right? And it's like, and look at all that grass behind us too. Like that's the grass that you're trying to actively move in as well. So it's just like, that's the catch me grass. It's where your foot just gets caught on everything. And, yeah, I mean, I moved over probably about 40, 50 feet from where I was initially sitting at. And I mean, flip my prosthetic leg upside down, use the bottom of my shoe as a stabilizer. And I mean, the guides, I mean, Cole is fantastic. I love Cole to death, but he's like, okay, load around. And I'm just like, already done. Like, I was loaded.
Not my first rodeo.
Yeah. He's like, I was loaded way back there. He's like, okay, take it off safe. Remember, when you're ready, breathe in, and I'm already shooting at this point. Like I've already got one round
Right.
launched at this deer and just drops him dead. I mean, just that deer didn't move a foot from where I shot him at. And beautiful vital shots, hit him in the heart and lungs with the angle that we were at. And, you know, I think it's weird, like different states like judge a deer based on different things. Like to me, when that's fully done and mounted on my wall, that's a 10-point blacktail buck.
Okay.
But you go out to Alaska, you go out to Arizona, it's like, oh, it's a 4x4. Like, you know, like, no, that's a 10-point buck.
Mm-hmm.
But that was us in the boat plane.
How'd he do in the plane?
He did awesome. I mean, he was on my lap, like his front half was on my lap 90% of the time, just chilling.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see Allie did the helicopter thing?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, she actually did really good. I was impressed.
So that's Cole Kramer, who runs the guide service too.
What was Tyr wearing?
So what wasn't Tyr wearing for this trip? So I had to prepare for everything.
Yeah.
I had some rough wear winter boots for them that zipped up. They're waterproof. They're like super cold weather resistant. I took those off on like day 3. So on the flight out from from Colorado to Anchorage, he had like a nervous lick being on a plane that long, and I didn't notice it because it was super dark in the cabin. And he actually licked like a spot raw right near his paw, like right on his like bottom ankle joint. And so like I just kept the boots off, let it air dry, wrapped it when we were back at the hotel and stuff like that, and took care of it. So that picture, I'll get to that in a second. But then he had a waterproof rain jacket. He had a cold weather waterproof suit, full body suit, except for like the tail, the butt, and the privates. So he could still relieve himself. But I mean, he had so much gear for this trip that I needed like an entire separate bag just for him, like food, water bowls. You know, like I have, like when you buy something online, you never know what the actual size is that you're getting. Like there's a reason I have like 35 feet of couch space in my living room right now because I didn't do proper measurements. Like I didn't know the product I was buying. Well, the same thing happened with this dog bed, where it's just like, oh, like if your dog weighs this amount, he should use this bed. And all of a sudden the bed's like 4 feet by 4 feet, and it's a waterproof zip up sleeping bag that has like a top flap that comes over, and then it's like head can poke out, and it's just like, it's awesome. And he loved the thing, but he was definitely dry. He was dry and warm as much as we all were. So
okay, and then talk about this picture.
So that was just what was it, December? The Army-Navy game this year in Philadelphia.
When you were Navy for a day.
When I was Navy for the day, but we got this last year in February at the I think it was maybe March or April or something, but the 3rd annual Veteran Adaptive Shoot, I got to meet like the head of marketing for Duke Cannon Soaps. Awesome guy. His name's Devin. He's just an amazing guy. He actually decided to partner with the Gary Sinise Foundation, like Duke Cannon did, and want to become a larger sponsor for that. And so he found out that my house was part of a new pilot program to not build a new adaptive home, but do their first like total home renovation and make it into an adaptable home. And so when he found that out, and then we discussed some tattoo ideas that I had that I was getting this summer, he just like, dude, I would love if you came out to the Army-Navy game with us. It's, you know, no cost to you. It's in Philadelphia. And I'm just like, yes, absolutely. Like if there's one game a year that I truly just enjoy watching, it's the Army-Navy game.
Right.
And this Army-Navy game was something that was, I mean, did you guys watch it at all?
I did not.
Army won.
I mean, honestly, for Navy,
that's all that matters.
For Navy, literally having a job that's holding each other's balls, how they fumbled on the 1 yard line in double overtime blew my mind. I'm like, you guys professionally hold balls in the Navy for a living, and you can't do that on the football field for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was pretty upset with that. But it was an absolutely amazing game, awesome experience. I told him about a tattoo idea. So I have a right thigh tattoo that I've been working on with a bunch of my kids' hobbies and interests right now. So I've got Smokey the Bear Jedi fighting Darth Vader on my thigh. Smokey the Bear's backup is a tactical llama with mounted 50 cals on the sides of them. I mean, I've got a Sasquatch on my shin with a grizzly bear and a baby bear. So my right leg surgery, I had a scar that was probably like 13, 14 inches big. And so we made that into a giant pine tree. I mean, I've got two bunnies doing it in a bush, like right by the base of the tree. Like, it's ridiculous. But I gave him the idea. I'm like, listen, if I draw abs on my stomach, that does not mean I have abs on my stomach. But if I got, for instance, the word abs tattooed on my stomach, I now have abs on my stomach for the rest of my life, regardless of what my stomach looks like.
You are correct.
And so I love working out. I hate abs and the concept of abs. It's just like, okay, I'm just not going to eat for 2 weeks, and now I've got abs again. Until my metabolism decided to say, like, yes, this. But I'm like, I always, like, me doing deadlifts, me doing squats, like, I'll never have a thick thigh, and I've always wanted a thick thigh. So I told Devin at this event, like, yeah, I'm going to get the word thick tattooed down my right thigh. And therefore, I will always have a thick thigh. And he's just like, dude, did you know we have a new brand of soap called Thick? And I'm just like, no, I had no idea. He's just like, well, let me send you over the PDF of the logo. And, he's like, consider getting that instead of like thick spelled, vertical, get thick horizontal. So he sends me the PDF and I'm just like, done. Like, just, it looked really cool. So I got Thick tattooed on my thigh and he's just like, dude, you have Duke Cannon for life. No questions asked. So now I've got like, 12 giant bottles of Thick soap. I've got bars of soap off the ass over here. Like I've got giant Thick, Duke Cannon chapsticks at the house. Like I'm just,
you're like, I'm set for life.
Yeah, set for life on Duke Cannon products. That's for sure. I mean, you're wearing a Duke Cannon shirt right now.
I see that.
I saw that. Yeah.
So they became a corporate sponsor of the Army Navy game. They've got the next it's a 5-year contract and stuff, and they decided to donate $200,000 to the Gary Sneeze Foundation on the field. And so, I mean, it's another one of those companies that you don't think of, but they are doing big things in big ways for awesome organizations.
That's awesome.
So, yep.
What are some of the other companies that you've worked with or are working with, or?
So I've had a lot of fun with Black Rifle. They're always an awesome time. The company I work for now is called Velocity Outdoors, and they own Raven Crossbows and King's Camo and Center Point and a handful of other companies. And it's actually the company that I'm running is called Valhalla by Raven for Velocity Outdoors.
Okay.
Valhalla was a concept idea that was spawned after my first Helicopters for Heroes event where I met these guys at. So they had a booth set up. They had some crossbows out there. I hit a paper plate. Like I hit the bullseye of a paper plate at 100 yards, got a hat. And there weren't a ton of guys that were able to do that out there. And I'm talking with this guy, he's wearing like ripped blue jeans, like cowboy boots, a t-shirt, like a Raven t-shirt. And like I brought him food, I brought him some drinks, and we were just hanging out for like a good chunk of one of the days. And come to find out, his name's Dane. He's the founder of Raven Crossbows. And I had no idea. I just thought he was a cool guy. Like never do you have somebody like him out running a booth. Like,
you have a marketing team out there.
Right? Like you have your lowest level employee working a booth while everybody else is drinking and having fun. Like, let's be honest. And a relationship built with these guys from that first year moving forward. And actually this last year at Helicopters for Heroes, I got brought on. Russ Rowan, who is in some of those pictures, is my boss. He hates when I say he's my boss, but he's my boss. And he put me in charge of both their charitable giving for Velocity Outdoors. So that's handling requests that organizations send in to get help, whether they have an auction happening or things like that. But the sad part is you can never help everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the really hard things about it. And that's something that they looked at from years past is, say each quarter they get, 1,500 requests from organizations for crossbows and gear and things like that. They're still a for-profit company, and that's not profit. You're going in the red there regularly. Here, come on, get up here. And so Valhalla by Raven was spawned, and it's our way to be able to impact charities more. And so, our goal is to be above the standard. Our goal is to push the limits. We focus on veterans, first responders, conservation, that's both land and wildlife conservation, and then also kids. Like, we have a huge passion for being able to help kids. That's kids of fallen service members, kids from displaced homes. And, that kind of started encompassing of what Valhalla is. And so as like the last year progressed, and we finally got like a soft launch on the Raven Crossbows website, kind of explaining what Valhalla is. I mean, it's a challenge. It's a challenge to other companies that, you can do more for these people that have given back and sacrificed so much for our country, and hammering on that veteran and first responder aspect. Both of those groups, veterans are protecting our country, but first responders are protecting our country in our country. Police officers, firefighters, EMS, you name it. And it's our way to be able to give back to those people in a bigger way. So by adopting 3 to 5 veteran and first responder beneficiaries, but also incorporating the wildlife and land conservation, incorporating kids. This year we have 3 organizations that we're helping out. Helicopters for Heroes, Children of Fallen Patriots. Those are kids of fallen service members. And the best part is that's not just limited to your parents died overseas. That's your parents could have succumbed to mental illness, with suicide. It doesn't matter. And those kids are sent through college at no cost.
Oh, wow.
It's huge. I mean, if you want to be a doctor, you're going to be a doctor. If you have the passion and the grades for it, you're going to be a doctor. They're not going to write a letter of recommendation, get you in a, doctor school.
Right.
I'm not a doctor. I don't know what it's called, with like, D+ grades.
It's called medical school. But...
Yeah, there you go. They're gonna push. It's like, oh, you got D+ all throughout high school. Like, maybe we look at like, janitorial staff. Who knows? And then we also have hold on one second. Boot campaign out of Texas.
Right.
And
yeah.
Boot campaign.
They do a
heavy.
lot.
Boot campaign does so much. I just got my list of events for them for this year and stuff like that. So we go out to these events, we buy tables, we donate auction items, and we support them in literally every and any way we can. If that's helping them design new merchandise to sell on their website because their stuff isn't selling, if that's helping promote their stuff, we'll use aspects of our marketing team to help, push whatever they're trying to do into light. And we will be there every step of the way, hitting as many events as we possibly can and trying to raise as much funds as we can for them. Through that too, we have everything from 2023 to 2024 planning out. We'll have merchandise, we'll have the whole 9 yards. We have actually 2 jackets for Valhalla by Raven right now, an insulator jacket, an all-weather jacket, and a fairly large percentage of those items go to supporting our beneficiaries in all those aspects. And so, I mean, it gives me the opportunity to not only do what I love, and that's be outdoors and help veteran organizations, but it surpasses anything that I could dreamed of doing myself. And Rob, we had talked about this. Like, this was something I was doing where I was matching veteran organizations with each other to help benefit each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that Raven and these guys that I got to know saw, and they're like, he could do this for us. And so it has been just an awesome collaboration, an awesome opportunity. If I could like design a dream job, this is it. Like, getting to go across the country and help veteran organizations, partake in their charity events, donate items, help them out financially, and at the same time still be able to like go on just amazing once in a lifetime epic hunts, and they're no longer once in a lifetime. Like that's the total package there. Like, you get to give back, you get to help, you get to participate, and you get to hunt and be outdoors.
Yeah.
And so it's I'm super excited about moving forward with what this year's going to present for itself, and the different things that we're going to be doing that I'm not going to talk about on here right now. but there's going to be some awesome stuff.
Spill all the beans. Tell us everything.
I know. There's going to be some absolutely just awesome stuff that we'll be doing.
Forget that NDA.
Being able to hit land conservation and wildlife conservation and get some of those thoughts from some of the key people, doing those things in our country right now. So, Valhalla by Raven, we're going to be making big waves. We're going to be shaking up the industry. And at the same time, we're putting that challenge out, and we're working with collaborations and we're working with other companies, and we are going to push this hard and fast and, just like, plow in the driveway.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe
we did talk. What's your girlfriend's name again?
She's a fiance. Her name's
What's
Amanda.
your fiance's name again? Amanda. Yes. So Austin and I did talk about, you need to put a sign over your driveway and officially name your driveway Amanda. So that way you can always just step outside and be like, I'm going to go plow Amanda.
That's not a bad idea.
I don't know how Amanda's going to feel about this, but
I mean, I think she likes being plowed by me, so I'm assuming she'll enjoy it.
And you guys have matching dogs.
I know, right?
All that 15 seconds,
Hey, man, it works. She keeps coming back for more, hopefully to get more or something, but I'm not lasting that long.
Yeah, let's be honest. It's not for like VA disability benefits.
She makes more than he does.
Yeah, I have a really good salary, and she actually still makes more than me with my salary and with my VA disability. Like, that girl is crushing it. I have no idea what the fuck she sees in me.
All I know is her Instagram profile pic is just like a bright and shining smile.
Oh yeah, she's definitely got a set of teeth, man. She's got a great smile.
Coming from you right now, where you look like you're about to break out in like some emo song with your hair draped halfway across your face. Like, it's just like you are just a dark person.
ALY and I had just gotten back from a walk on the rim, and it's been ridiculous.
He was out doing rim jobs, so
doing rim jobs and got back to the house.
I've been to the Grand Canyon once, and that was my wife and I driving cross country, and we drove into the Grand Canyon Park. And you go into any like state campground, and there's typically like one entrance. Mm-hmm. That is not the Grand Canyon.
That's like 5.
There is like, it'll be like a sign like a mile and a half back that says like, this is that way and this is that way, but trees are covering it. And so you just blow past the sign, and the next thing you know, you're driving around at like 2:00 in the morning, no clue where to go. And that's what happened to us. And we're like, man, like we really would have loved to see, the Grand Canyon. And so we end up spending the night there, sleeping in the car. Mm-hmm. And when we wake up, we were actually parked in this parking area right in front of the opening of the Grand Canyon the entire night. You can't
even see it at night because it's so fucking.
And I don't know what you guys' policies are on like urinating in the park, but that was definitely happening throughout the night.
Like, I was just pissing on a walk on a trail that people go on all the time.
Yeah. But it was absolutely amazing. Like, it was super beautiful. Kind of jealous that you work there, except I like Wisconsin a lot more.
Yeah.
You're way too close to California, bud.
Yeah.
I'm 30 minutes from California. I'm super close.
You're also
to
like
California.
30 steps from your mom's living room, so there's that.
Now, it's funny that you say that about like I've said this before ad nauseum as well, but Grand Canyon's part of the dark sky community. So we have a lot of zero artificial light pollution, unless you look at my backyard. But in general, the park is dark. And to this day, Austin has been on the phone with me, and Amanda has been on the phone with me multiple times, where I've accidentally like driven past my house and stuff and like missed the streets and stuff. It's confusing out here.
It's only when you're talking on the phone, though.
It was so dark driving in there.
It's
that
so
it's just like
fucking dark.
your lights don't even feel like they're lighting, like your vehicle lights don't even feel like they're
Oh
lighting up
yeah,
enough.
yeah. It's crazy
That's really
dark
cool
out
though
here.
that they do that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely one of those nice things out here. Fuck, there was something I was gonna say about all this. Oh, you know, I was thinking earlier when you were talking, you know, Jordan, you're one of my favorite people, man. Like seriously, like I'm really glad you're on this episode, and I've seen you go through ups and downs, but you've also been in my corner quite a bit, and I
Like
remember there was
getting you to get engaged to
yeah,
Amanda.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That was part of it, and
that was all me. That was yeah. I mean, you
yeah,
may have
okay.
got down on one knee, but that's because I only have one knee, and it's a lot harder for me to get back up. It's
No, but I mean, like there was a point where I was super depressed and like really struggling, and it was showing in like my Instagram stories and stuff. And you called me one morning when I was laying in bed and like didn't want to get out of bed,
Say quit being
and
a bitch.
it was pretty much that. It was like, listen, man, he's like, you have a beautiful service dog who fucking loves you and adores you. You
and
have
that was
two
before I got my
fucking
service dog.
I
You
know,
know,
I know.
that was a big thing.
Mm.
Like it's
Yeah. You're like, you got two fucking legs at work. You got this fucking awesome life. And he's like, you need to get the fuck up and be happy. And I would just say that like that meant a lot. And you know, meeting up with you in Nevada last year around this time, it was actually in February, I think. What event was that?
Torn Warriors.
Torn Warriors. Shout out Torn
Yeah, Torn
Warriors. They're
Warriors. That
cool.
was the BMF championship race.
Yeah. And
Yep.
I got to
Which I was supposed to be racing in.
yeah, yeah.
But during practice, the granted they have a brand new race rig, but their old race rig. I mean, we literally blew a tire and axle and everything incorporated with those pieces completely apart. Practicing for that race like 2 days before it happened.
Yeah. And then you and help me out with the other guy's name, the other amputee. Who
Rotten.
was there? Yeah, Rotten. Yeah, he was out there. I got to meet you guys, and we had to walk so far, and I felt terrible for you guys because like,
See, he's complaining he had to walk to a guy that has one leg.
No, like I was fine, and Allie was fine, but
okay.
it was a long walk, but we got to meet Cowboy Cerrone. That was fucking cool.
Yep.
And it was a cool event, and Allie was with us the entire time. You had a special moment with her at the hotel room.
I was a little confused if she was a service dog or a personal protection dog briefly there, but but we did fine the rest of the time.
Yeah, no. It's just I think like that was one of the first times I think Allie actually got to be around an amputee, and she was obsessed with your leg. And why was that?
I had various types of animal blood dried on like my shoe and my prosthetic leg from hunting.
Yeah, she spent a lot of time smelling his leg and licking it. Like she was obsessed with your leg.
A lot of time.
Man, yeah, and that was the funny thing about that weekend was I had just started talking to Amanda a few weeks prior to that, and I was out drinking with you guys, hanging out, gambling, having a good time, and that was around the time one of her friends was really coming down hard on me about, do you like this girl or not? Because if you do, like, you need to stop being a bitch and like fly out here and meet this girl. And it's funny because like you tie into that story of us, and Amanda's been following you for a little bit now. I think like ever since that weekend, and she's got to watch a lot of your stuff, and you know, she'll comment on things. And you remember when you were you had to be carried to the float plane?
Okay, so I did not have to be carried to the float plane. Okay, but I'm gonna set the record straight right now. So I decided not to wear my hip waders on the raft ride because it was only an hour raft ride from where our base camp was at to where the boat plane was picking us up, vice the 3 hours that we were on it. And I'm just like, listen, like I know that after that plane ride, we're going back to the hotel. I'm going to take a hot shower. Like, I'm going to be dry and warm and comfortable. So I'm like, if my leg is wet, I could really care less. And like, I even had spare shoes back in the hotel in their storage area waiting for me. And so all of a sudden, like, Cole, the guide, he just like, well, hold on. Like after he gets like all these bags loaded in, he comes over and I'm just like, and I'm in the water. Like, I'm probably ankle deep. I'm walking towards the boat plane. He's like, well, hold on one second. Let me check something. And he bends down and just like fireman carries me, like just lifts me onto his back out of nowhere. Meanwhile, he's trying to get his footing going on these rocks in this river. And I'm getting the comments made to me, man, you look like you weigh so much less. Meanwhile, Russ had like picked up Tyr in his arms and like we're both, and then the camera guys happened to snap a photo of it at the same time. But like it was not expected. I was not asked to be carried, and it was
likely story.
It was an out of nowhere experience.
The Marines always want to be carried. What are you talking about?
The funny thing about that on the back end was like, I think I either made a comment on the picture or I DM'd you about it, and somehow like Amanda found out about it, and she's like, you be nice to Jordan, he's such a nice guy. I'm like, you have no idea how big of an asshole this guy is,
right?
No. So there are two people that I have heavily encouraged relationships with. Rob, you are one of them. And then my buddy Ryan, who actually runs a Frag Out podcast here in Wisconsin, which I'm going on Friday.
Sweet.
But there is a big difference between you guys. I mean, you went through, heartache and relationships and hit dark periods. I mean, you were like one playlist away from like Black Parade by like My Chemical Romance posting on your Instagram feed. Like that's where you were at, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like Ryan, on the other hand, like lives with his amazing girlfriend. She makes, I hate cheesecake, but she makes like the world's best cheesecake.
How do you hate cheesecake?
The consistency, the texture, the taste, the whole 9 yards. Cheesecake is freaking terrible. But I think 80% of the conversations I have with him, especially when he's on speakerphone at home with her, is so, hey, Ryan, are you going to buy the new espresso maker and have a second one? Or are you finally going to get your girlfriend an engagement ring? Like, so I am never.
Don't put Jordan on speakerphone, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, if Rob wasn't always so busy with work and he would actually like pick up my phone calls, maybe I'd have an opportunity to talk to Amanda.
Yeah. Well, she'll be out here in February, and she's moving out here permanently. She actually hired her moving company the other day, and we're pretty much set. She's like, I already put $1,000 down deposit, and I was like, so.
Austin, have you gotten a wedding invite yet?
I mean, not one in the mail.
No,
I haven't even gotten like a verbal invite yet. I mean, like I have literally set these two up in an amazing relationship with matching dogs, and I haven't even got like a verbal, hey Jordan, like I want to make sure you're free this month to come to my wedding.
Yeah, what we're
gonna be at the bottom of the Grand Canyon.
No, it's not going to be at the bottom of the Grand Canyon.
I am riding a donkey down the Grand Canyon if that's the case. I don't care. That's happening.
Yeah, we're
ass on top of another ass.
Yeah, exactly. We're planning on doing something small at the Grand Canyon and then going out to Vegas that weekend and celebrating. And that's where we're inviting friends and family. If people somehow want to do both, they can, but we felt like it would be easier to accommodate towards people meeting up with us for the celebration of us.
We're going to recreate the movie The Hangover in Vegas.
You guys are going to lose me. Leave me on the roof.
You don't know how many times I've used the phrase, we fucked up. We fucked up bad.
I'll bring the roofies.
Stories. Oh shit. Yeah. No, man, but all jokes aside, man, you're
kind of invited.
You're definitely invited, but you're one of my favorite people to talk to. You bring me up when I'm down. You're fun to talk to. You do call me sometimes when I'm busy at work. I'm like, dude, this guy's calling me like in the middle of a workday. I'm trying to fix a network that's fucking down out here. Like, I can't talk right now.
Oh, you were in charge of the whole Southwest debacle?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, he broke the whole Southwest thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
He deleted the wrong file, and
that system was down for a while too there.
Yeah. No, that was crazy what happened to Southwest with that. Whew. Glad I wasn't in IT for that. Like, I'm making small
it's a great time
out here.
I will say, you want some cheap flights right now, go to southwestairlines.com.
Right. Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it, man. You're honestly, you're so much fun to talk to. Austin, I mean, I don't know how many times I can do a conversation with you where I don't bring up that
Hey,
Olaf.
it doesn't bother me.
Like,
so
Olaf, it's just it hits a nail. I don't even remember the guy's name who plays Olaf.
Josh.
Yeah, Josh something. But it's just like you two are like spitting images of each other, except he can grow facial hair.
Hey, that's okay.
Semi-famous.
But yeah, I mean, this year for me, I mean, it's ramping up. Like, every year since 2020, like I have said, has been like the best year of my life. And like 2021, that was it. Then 2020, 2020, then 2021, then 22, then I mean, this year, each year between what I'm doing activity wise with veteran organizations and work now and family and everything else, I mean, it builds on each other constantly. And I mean, yeah, there's low points that happen during the year. There always are. That's life. But the amount of good that outweighs the bad in these previous years and going into this year, it's just, I mean, words don't describe it. Like, I'm living in what would be a brand new adaptive home that I never thought we would be doing. Like, we bought our home initially with the understanding of like, listen, like, this works for us. It's a ranch style. The wheelchair can access majority of areas. Now the wheelchair has no limitations in my house. Like, we have an actual concrete patio wheelchair ramp in the front of our house, a wheelchair ramp on the back. Like, there's no limitations there. And like, I never thought that was going to be something that would happen here. Like, we had slowly started like remodeling room to room. And then 2022, like, the house finished at the end of the year. And it's just like, we're still in awe walking in here every day.
Like, it's finally done.
Yeah, like having good communication, a healthy relationship with my wife, having a service dog, seeing our kids grow up. It's absolutely amazing. And Rob, I can't wait until you actually get married and start pumping out some of those kids of your own. And it's just like, you're gonna see this, man. And
if he has kids, I mean, do we want another Rob?
I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I mean, Rob, I don't know if the whole like Cab Scouts riding on horseback would have sterilized you. Oh my God,
shut the fuck up.
But like,
I give him shit for it all the time.
Yeah, that repetitive saddle riding, I don't know if that means you can't have kids or not. I mean, you could put that down as like a VAED disability or something. But if you do manage to have kids, you're gonna see it. And it's just like seeing my family and seeing, me being happy, which correlates to all of us being happy. And like, they're a huge part of that. They're a part of the healing process. They're a part of the struggle. They're everything. And it's just like, everything else just icing on the cake when it comes to them. But that icing on the cake has gotten so thick. And so it's been awesome.
And that's a beautiful thing, man. Like, it's a good thing, because we definitely have seen you at your lows, and we love seeing you at your highs, man. It resonates well.
I mean, you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot for the community. I mean, not only for yourself and your family, but I mean, you're doing a lot for the community, and you're giving back a lot to, your brothers and sisters.
Yeah, I love you, dude.
So don't get gay on me.
No, like I said, we appreciate you, man.
Maybe we jump into some ATI and we'll be a little bit less serious and get that in and wrap this thing up.
Okay, break out your crayons, Jordan. We're gonna jump into ATI.
Awesome, I'm ready.
All right, on cue.
Go ahead,
all right, here we go. ATI, by the way, if you've managed to listen this long and you happen to be like parents or something like that, or maybe Jordan's wife,
Earmuffs.
maybe Amanda.
Oh,
you might want to earmuff
Jordan's
her.
wife's probably heard way worse.
Oh yeah, okay. All right.
Oh,
So
Rob,
the first one's
by the way,
Mhm.
did you know that humans consume more bananas than monkeys each year?
I did not know that.
Yeah. When was the last time you saw a person eating a monkey?
Oh my god, you're an idiot. All right, on to answer the internet. First question: would you rather have free coffee for life or free pizza for life? What do you got, Jordan?
Pizza.
Okay.
Hands down. Yeah.
Okay.
I hate hot coffee.
What?
You're like sponsored by Black Rifle. I don't think you're allowed to say that.
They make iced coffee.
I'm just friends with a bunch of the guys, and yeah. But yeah, I hate hot coffee. It's
damn.
You just drink iced?
Yep. I drink the ready to drink cans. I'll drink iced coffee with creamer and sugar and milk and chocolate syrup. Like I've been known to grab a hot coffee, put ice cubes in it, but before I put the ice cubes in it, I'll let like a Hershey bar melt inside of it.
Oh my
god!
So I take it you don't like black coffee?
No, absolutely not. Like the first coffee I ever drank, I had to have been like maybe 10 or 11 years old, and my dad made it with beans over a campfire, and it was just like that will just ruin coffee for you. I will be the first one to like raise my hand for like a mocha frappuccino.
Oh my god!
Every time.
Okay, Austin, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with coffee.
Okay. All right. Any reason why?
I just love coffee.
I know you do. I'm gonna go with pizza because I feel like I do enjoy my coffee, but I drink it black a lot of times. Pizza is fucking amazing. Yeah, if I
and there's so much you can do with pizza. Well,
exactly.
I mean, how much can you do with coffee?
You say you drink it black, Rob, but is there any creamer in your fridge right now?
Right now, no, because it expired.
Oh, right now,
because it expired. It turned from creamer to Greek yogurt.
Yeah.
He
says he doesn't.
Occasionally I drink it with cream. All right, next question.
He's just fronting over here.
Shut up. Next question. Hit it, Austin.
Would you rather watch softcore porn or only minor league sports for the rest of your life?
Oh, shit. What you got, Jordan?
Honestly, minor league sports isn't bad. Those are the guys that are still trying to make it.
Yeah, they actually want.
Exactly.
Like I would consider college basketball minor league sports.
Yeah.
Because those guys are still trying to make it big, even though only like 5% of them do. But have you watched LeBron James on the court? It's embarrassing.
He gets paid just to show up.
Yeah, I would rather watch that chick that got thrown in like the Russian prison play basketball than LeBron James.
Oh shit.
I mean, it's pretty much like watching two dudes, anyways. And we're now banned off of Spotify.
So far, Spotify's been good to us. They've
heard way worse.
YouTube. I'm gonna go minor league sports as well, just because of the fact softcore porn is bullshit. So yeah, and I like the ideology too. Like you got your minor league people trying to get into the majors. So I feel like there's a lot more effort.
It's a lot less politics.
Mm-hmm. What you got?
Way less. Same thing. As like I said, it's way less politics and a lot more enjoyable to watch minor league.
Okay. Next question. Would you rather get $200 every time you have sex or $20 every time you masturbate?
$20.
$20. You're gonna make that $200 pretty quick.
5 minutes.
I will make up the difference.
Okay. Good. Austin?
100% same thing.
Maybe I'm.
This is what you have to look forward to when you get married. Austin and I are married.
Yeah.
See, like in my brain, it works like the opposite way. I'm like, man, me and Amanda have a lot of sex, and
I was saying, when was
last
last time you saw Amanda?
October.
Yeah.
October. Do you realize the thousands of dollars I would already have doing it my way?
Right?
But she's gonna be living here, and I only last for about 15 seconds. So
I have lived with my wife for 10 years.
Yeah, this is me and my wife's 10-year anniversary.
There you go.
Shit. Okay. Well, for now, I'm going with sex. And Amanda and I are gonna add to our.
Yeah, I'm going $20 every time.
Yeah, have fun paying rent, bud.
Give me a week and I'll have thousands of dollars.
Right? Yeah. Give me a week.
Done.
Okay. Next question. That's you, Austin.
Would you punch your grandma in the face if you could have sex with anybody in the world that you wanted to?
I already have sex with my wife, so I'm good.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
But you also haven't met my grandmother. I mean, there's a punch waiting to happen. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. She's a lovely woman. She's just very opinionated.
Yeah, I think
most grandmas are
at this time. Yeah. Yeah.
What are you gonna say, Rob?
I don't
Where's
know.
Where's my grandmother at? Let me knock her out.
No, I'm content with the rest of my life having sex with Amanda and making my.
That's what he says, at least
every time. What do you got, Austin? I know
you're
that,
Amanda. He's content. I'm excited, but
whatever, man. I'm excited. I'm good. The sex is great. Okay.
I'm good. I'm good.
Oh, whatever, man. Oh my God, she listens to this stuff. She's like, "Oh, content, good." Steve,
yeah, he's content for his 15 seconds. He's content.
She's content. I'm excited.
Oh, okay.
There we go. What do you got?
That makes sense.
I mean, my first thought is just to punch my grandma, but
now that we started off, we would all rather have sex with our significant others. You're just like, well, damn it, now I have to say that too.
Right.
Your wife's heard you say terrible things, anyways.
Oh yeah, my wife ain't gonna give a fuck. But the question is I have no idea who I'd have sex with. So.
Okay.
Princess Anna.
No, I like Elsa better.
No, you like the blondes.
All right.
Okay, next one, Rob.
Last two. Would you rather watch a 25-minute sex tape of your daughter for $2 million? Oh, wait. Would you watch a 25-minute sex tape of your daughter for $2 million?
What you got, Jordan?
Well, I don't have a daughter, so it would technically be my son and his girlfriend. And I mean, $20 is $20, but $2 million, bud. Like, come on.
But it's also way different if it's your son, though.
Yeah, I think so.
It's also way different if it's your son.
Yeah, so I mean, I really like we're done having kids. I don't have a daughter. I that's yeah. Okay. But the last question though, I mean, my wife still finds me attractive. Every time I pass her, she literally comments, "What an ass."
I don't think that means what you think it means.
What I mean is just like, here I thought I was a little flat having one leg and not doing glutes as much, but she says, "What an ass."
Tell her to include the whole part.
What about you, Austin?
I mean, like I said, $2 million is $2 million. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Your unborn daughter, yeah, you're gonna pimp her out.
That's a lot of money. $2 million.
Okay.
Come on, Rob. What's your answer?
I'm hoping that genetics will work out where we have a boy, so I can be in the same boat as Jordan and just like, fuck it, go out there, have sex. I'll watch it once for $2 million.
Once, right? I mean, honestly, $2 million, it'll cover the therapy to get over it.
Right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I mean, Rob already has enough therapy, so it's okay.
Hit that last question, and I gotta get ALY outside here soon.
Would you rather live life as is or be a billionaire, but you have to blow one dude every day?
Life as is, man.
Come on, you should be used to stroking semen.
You can build 1,000 bridges. You can build 1,000 bridges, but you suck one dick, and you'll always be remembered as a dick sucker.
Is that what they told you in the? Is that what they told you on the ship?
Is that what you learned in the Marines, or what?
Yeah, that what they told you when you were on the ship?
Yeah, we honestly had.
Don't tell anybody.
Corpsmen. We had some amazing corpsmen. I mean, plethora of knowledge, awesome guys. We're in Okinawa, Japan, and the dude gets caught. The dude gets caught giving another dude a blowjob, and that's forever what he'll be remembered as. Not being a great corpsman that has saved lives in a combat zone, but hey, remember that corpsman that was sucking dick that got arrested and like dishonorably discharged? Like
his name was Jordan.
I'm gonna go with life as is because one thing this past year has definitely taught me is like I already make pretty good money and I'm on a pathway to continue to make good money. And
you got a sugar mama.
This is true.
He's got a cougar. He's got a cougar.
Yeah,
there's a cougar in the car.
If you don't make the Talladega Nights cougar in the car video with Amanda,
I want to. Upset. I really want to. It's like, how'd you get her? A tractor.
A tractor.
Now I'm gonna go with life as is, man, because like life is definitely more about connections, and I've been in situations where I didn't have money versus having money, and turning down a job that would have even paid me more than I currently make. And one thing this past year and change has taught me is that money doesn't equal happiness. Having money to be comfortable will keep you content in life, but it's about your connections with people. And definitely I'd rather have a life where I have Allie and Finn and Amanda than $1 billion and on Jordan's scale I would be a dick sucker.
Do you hear that, Amanda? Allie, Finn, then Amanda.
Oh my God, whatever, man. Like, fuck off. I take it back. This is the worst guess we've ever had.
Yep. Now here comes Austin over here. Give me those dicks.
Honestly, that was my first thought. Does anybody have to know that I suck dick? Because I mean, a billionaire, that's a lot of money.
We know you're going dick sucking.
I mean, if I can have billions of dollars, fuck it.
Okay. All right. Austin's dick sucking for billions.
I mean,
all right. Well, boys, we should wrap this up. Jordan,
they can touch my carrot anytime.
Stick around, Jordan. We got to get our picture at the end. But before we final out and get out of here, is there anything you want to plug or talk about that you got coming up?
I mean, honestly, it's, I could plug Valhalla by Raven in there. I could plug Rescue 22 or, any of the charities.
Which we have.
Which we're helping out. And it's just like, we've covered everything, man. It's you reach out to, those people and stuff like that you haven't in a while. Make those connections last. And it's just like, Rob wasn't like, it was a super easy phone call where I called him up and told him to get off his ass and stop being a bitch. Rob and I would constantly call Rob and text Rob, and it's just like, whether or not he picked up was, his call.
Like, why the fuck is this guy calling again?
Yep. But he finally did pick up, and I was able to tell him, and get him moving again. And it's just like, you don't know who you could be an inspiration for.
100%.
And I think that's really important. You need to take those different opportunities as life throws them at you, because there's a reason for it, and just run with it.
I love it, man. I definitely love it. Austin, you got anything you want to say before we
No, man.
wrap it up?
Nope.
I think that's a good note to end on, to be honest.
Yeah. Thanks again for coming on, Jordan.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for joining us for the Fight Like Hell podcast. All of our listeners and viewers, we love you guys, and peace.